Hi there. Everyone knows the bench press is the king of upper body exercises. Today I want to go through a few quick, easy steps to make sure that you get the best bang for your buck when you're doing it, and more importantly, you're doing it in a safe and efficient manner so that we don't injure ourselves in the gym. So first, let's have a look at the bench press setup. I think this is the most important part of the bench press. How you go about putting the bench in place, where you set the J hooks for the bar itself, and where you put safety pins in place are the biggest and most important things for setting yourself up first. So let's have a look at how to set up for the bench press. In this example here, I've got the safety pins set just below my chest height. I've got the J hooks, which is where the bar sits, set so that when I re-rack, as you'll see at the end of this example, the bar strikes right in the middle of it. And I've got the bench set up so that the bar comes down straight to my chest without interfering with the J hooks, and I'm in a nice, safe, close position to re-rack, as you can see here, striking right in the middle of the J hooks when I re-rack the bar. So let's have a look at a scenario here where we've got a good bench press set up, and we're going to illustrate why this is so important. I'm able to unrack the bar in an efficient, safe manner. I can go through my sets with a bit of clearance from the J hook so I don't whack the bar. And as you'll see here, if I get stuck under the bar, I've got the safety pin set so that I can just roll the bar slightly down my chest and the bar comes off me. I'm now free to slide out underneath the bar, and I'm not crushed, I'm not injured, and I live to fight another day. Let's have a look at another example. This time, as you can see here, I'm going to adjust these safety pins and move them down slightly, and this is something that I see very commonly in the gym. Guys have their safety pin set a little bit too low, and as you go through the set, everything else here is still fine. I'm not hitting the J hooks on the way up. The bench is set nicely. However, when I get pinned under the bar, I'm now no longer in a position where I can use those safety pins to get myself out. Imagine for a moment here that I've got 110 kilos on the bar. I'd be in all sorts of strife right now. Alright, a different example this time. This time we're going to look at the importance of the height at which you set up the J hooks. In this example here, I've moved the J hooks down a little bit. This is super common. I see this all the time with my athletes when they go to set up for a bench press. They set the J hooks too low. And as you'll see here, at the completion of this set, when the bar is being re-racked, it's quite common that the bar doesn't go into the rack in a smooth, efficient manner. You get some clunking, the arms are straight, you can have the bar almost fall on you, and look, I'm in all sorts of strife. If that's a heavy weight, that could be quite dangerous. Another one that also happens, as you'll see here, is you'll get one side into the J hooks at the end, and the other will fall down, and you end up with this sort of mess like this. So once again, make sure we set up the J hooks at an appropriate height so that when we finish our set, the bar strikes right in the middle. So let's have a look at two more examples now. This time we're going to have a look at the importance of how far away we set up our bench from the rack and where we line our body up with the bar when we're underneath it and ready to unrack it. In this example, I've gone too far away from the rack, and as you'll see here, when I go to re-rack the bar, I'm not in a position to hit the middle of the J hook, so I'm not in a position to guide it in an efficient, safe manner, and you can only imagine what's going to happen when you've got extra weight on the bar and you're in a state of fatigue there. The flip side of this scenario is when we go too far in the opposite direction, and now what we're going to find occurs is that instead of being too far away, we're actually too close to the J hooks, and we can't go through the set and the movement itself without finding interference from those hooks. As you can see here, I've unracked the bar and gone to begin my first rep, and I'm already running into those bars. Or the other common thing that I see is that as you're coming on the way up, you're going to hit them, and that's obviously very distracting and quite unnerving when you've got a bit of weight on the bar to see the bar getting banged around like that. So once again, make sure that you set yourself up so that you've got your mouth and nose underneath the bar in your setup position before you unrack and begin the set. Now, sometimes you'll be bench pressing at a gym or in a facility where you don't have the leisure of being able to use safety pins where you're bench pressing. So this might be controversial, but I'm going to say once you put plates on the bar, do not use clips. throw these away, okay? If you don't have safety bars, you do not want clips on the bar, and I'm about to show you why. I'm sure anyone who's spent any time in the gym will have seen a scenario somewhat like this at one point or another. Someone's going about their set and they get to a position towards the end of the set where they come under fatigue, which is typically what's going to occur. However, instead of stopping the set early, they go for that one extra rep and they get stuck. Now, in this scenario here, we've got clips on the bar, and this is danger time. We're now in a position where, without a spotter, we are unable to remove the bar from ourselves. This is really dangerous. This is as bad a scenario as you can get in the gym. Luckily, I'm a big, strong lad and I can pop that one back up there, but I'm going to show you a better solution. So instead of putting our clips on, as you'll see here, I've now removed them. I'm going to go through my set in the same fashion as I did before. Similar scenario. We've got a heavy weight on the bar, we're going through our set, and as we get to the end of that set, we're going to experience some fatigue. I'm going to go for one too many reps in this set, and I'm going to find myself stuck under the bar. Now, luckily, I don't have clips on the bar, and that means that despite not having a spotter, I'm able to dump the weight left and right and get away. Now, that's going to make a big bang in a racket and you're going to attract a lot of attention, but you're safe and ready to fight another day. Let me preface my point when I say we're not going to use clips in that type of scenario. Ideally, we want our bench set up correct, we want to have a spotter in place, and we would be using clips. However, there is going to come a time and a place when you are bench pressing without a spot, and that is under the only circumstances that I'm going to say remove those clips. Now, always make sure that you can find a spotter, but I think it's worth noting because I know it's going to happen eventually. You're going to end up benching without a spotter. Better safe than sorry. Remove those clips and give yourself an option to get out of such a scenario. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you got some useful information out of it. The key to bench pressing is safety and setup. You need to make sure that you go through the time and through the process to make sure that you've got pins in place, J-hooks in place, and the bench set up in the right position. Hope you've got something out of this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next installment of How To.